The Coming by R.S. Thomas. And God held in his hand a small globe. "Look," he said. The sun looked. Far off, as through water, he saw a scorched land of fierce colour. The light burned there. Crusted buildings cast their shadows. A bright serpent, a river, uncoiled itself, radiant with slime. On a bare hill, a bare tree saddened the sky. Many people held out their thin arms to it, as though waiting for a vanished April to return to its crossed boughs. The sun watched them. "Let me go there," he said. This is a poem which looks at life from God's perspective, called The Coming. It contains the essence of the gospel. It contains the sweep of history, beginning with God. With God, Creator, holding the world in God's hand, holding, containing, supporting, enclosing, enfolding the world, this planet, in love. Here, the Father and the Son are watching together, looking out at a vast landscape onto a place of brokenness, fragmented, cracked, splintered, a world in a state of dis-ease. And this is the Father inviting the Son to visit a place not of beauty and richness and wonder and perfection, but a scorched land with crusted buildings. What is this place? Is it this planet? Is it the Holy Land? Is it our land, our city, our town, our neighbourhood? Whatever, it is ravaged and spoilt and torn and broken. Slime, serpent, what is that? Does it perhaps remind us of Eden and the snake? Of fallen humanity? Of the destruction that we have wrought on others? The pain we have caused? The mixed nature of our humanity? And yet there seems within this poem to be a glimmer of hope, because this scorched land is also full of fierce colour. There is light, there is brightness, and there is a river. Yes, full of slime, but still a river that is radiant. We have a tendency to spoil, even to destroy, to cause harm, to cause pain to others and to ourselves. We have a tendency for selfishness, for neglect, for greed, for self-interest. But we also have the potential for mending and for healing, for generosity and caring and loving. That is our human nature. And R.S. Thomas points to this dichotomy, this division that is often within us. Even with our tendency to hurt and harm, there is still the hope of life and resurrection and redemption. We all, each of us, long to be restored, to be rescued, to be set free. And God longs for our redemption too. God yearns for us. That longing, that yearning, led to a journey, to a coming into our world by the Son, to a place, as we read, on a bare hill, a bare tree saddened the sky. Such is the depth of God's love. Such is the compassion of God. And here we have an image, a picture of the Son looking out across the world with all the needs of the world. People, women, men, children, holding out their thin arms in hope and in desperation. And the Son sees the needs of a broken world, a hurting people, and says, "Let me go there." This is the heart of Advent, one coming into our world, into the ordinariness of humanity, knowing that all would not be sweetness and light and candles and tinsel and wrapping, that there would be no cosy nativity scene, but this journey would involve pain and hurt and the devastation of the cross. But still, the Son came, ready, willing, open, loving. Still the Son came, bringing hope. As Advent begins, are your arms open wide enough to receive the Son? Is your heart open wide enough to receive his love? What are your hopes this Advent? What are your fears? What do you long for? What do you dread? What are your joys? And what are your regrets? When do you feel contented? And when do you feel disappointed? Whatever the questions you have, God's enfolding love will hold you and bring you hope. The journey has begun. Are you ready to join the journey? And God held in his hand a small globe, "Look," he said. The sun looked. Far off, as through water, he saw a scorched land of fierce colour. The light burned there. Crusted buildings cast their shadows. A bright serpent, a river, uncoiled itself, radiant with slime. On a bare hill, a bare tree saddened the sky. Many people held out their thin arms to it, as though waiting for a vanished April to return to its crossed boughs. The sun watched them. "Let me go there," he said.